Hey everyone, I'm going to be doing a video on some Christmas tree molds in abalone shells. And even if you're not interested in Christmas trees anymore because it's so close to Christmas, I'm doing some other experiments with coloring the natural abalone shells, with putting plugs in the bottom of molds to add tea lights, which of course you could apply to any molds, and just some other experiments. And then at the end, I create 3 real pretty fall or winter scenes with some Dollar Tree items and some of these trees, and they really turn out cute. So I hope you watch. And I also do some experimenting to see if the Hobby Lobby abalone shells run, because some people on our Facebook page have been having problems with that. There's a lady on our Facebook group, Carol Olette, I hope I'm saying your name right, who's been making some real pretty Christmas trees and other items with the abalone shells. And I'll leave a link to her site at the end. But I've been looking at those and thinking, oh, I would like to try to make those. So I hope you stick around to the end. So these green abalone shells, $16.99, 2 pounds on Amazon. You can find abalone shells, crushed shells, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, but green are very difficult to find. I could not find those at any of these 2 places. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to be trying to color some natural ones. And we'll see how those turn out. And I'm also going to be doing a test on bleeding on some of the blue ones and the multicolored ones, because some people on our Facebook group said that they bled, but I have not had that experience. Now this is some eye candy snowflake mica powder and also some unicorn art crushed crystal. And a lot of people, I think that the crushed crystal is the only thing that can give you the crystal effect in the resin. I mix it in the resin to give it a little sparkle, and it also helps to hide micro bubbles. But you can really use any kind of mica powder, just like the other mica powder I just showed you, the snowflake. If you just use a tiny bit, it will give a crushed crystal effect. It looks real pretty and sparkly in your resin, and also helps to hide any little tiny micro bubbles that you might get. Both of those mica powders, if you put a whole bunch in your resin, it will turn it a real pretty sparkly white. So anyway, I just mix my abalone shells with the resin and fill each of my Christmas trees about 1/2 full. And the reason I'm just doing it 1/2 full is I'm going to put it through the bubble removal machine, which is going to make it bubble up quite a bit. And when you mix anything in resin, like mica powders, colorants, whatnot, it will make it bubble up a lot more than normally with just plain resin. And I actually have to release the pressure release valve a couple times because it's about to bubble over. So once the bubbles get to the top, you have to release the pressure, and you have to continue doing this until it kind of decompresses on its own, goes down on its own, and then you can just let the machine continue to run until your 5 minutes, or however many minutes you run it for, 10 minutes, is up. And then when that stops, you pull the release valve and the bubbles will disappear. And what I ended up doing, I did this with both of the trees, and once they were both done, well, this one I ended up putting a little bit more resin in and redoing it because it just didn't have enough resin. I think it had more shells than resin. Then I ended up filling them up the rest of the way and then putting them through the bubble removal machine, but just watching them very closely so that they did not bubble over. So here you can see me filling the tree the rest of the way with the abalone shells and the resin, and I have to keep on pulling the pressure relief valve and watching it very carefully. And sorry, I'm going through this so fast because I'm doing a whole bunch of trees and I want you to be able to see all of them. And just with the extra resin, I make a starfish. I'm always putting my extra resin in something else, and I had some extra resin with some abalone shells and I put them in the turtle. So here it is the next day. In addition to the 2 green abalone shell Christmas trees, I also made a abalone shell Christmas tree with the multicolor, and you'll see it in a minute. And I did it the exact same way. And then I actually had put the rest of the abalone shells in the sea turtle. That's one of those into resin molds, and it is a real pretty turtle. Well, I don't know if it's a sea turtle, but it's a turtle. And then I also did the starfish with some leftover resin and a little bit of pink, it looks like. I'm going to use that. I might make some more of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees, and I'll use that for the top. But that's super pretty too. So I think the trees really turned out nice. They, all of the points are totally filled with resin. There's no big bubbles in them anywhere that you can see. I think underneath one of them I might have found one or two small bubbles, but for the most part they really turned out nice. So super pretty. It's just the only thing with them is it's a matte finish. And you can't see the sparkles real well until I spray it with the spray paint. And what I'm using is Krylon Triple Thick Crystal Clear Glaze. And I work my way all the way around them, making sure I get them from all sides. And after the first coat has dried, I give them a second coat. So they're covered really well, and it makes the resin go from a matte finish to a shiny finish, and you can really see the little crystal sparkles in them, and it just really makes them look pretty. And here I'm trying to show them up close. Can you see the little sparkles in it from the, oh, I don't know if my camera's focusing very well, but they have little tiny sparkles in it from the mica powder that I put in. And now they're nice and shiny, and it makes the resin clearer so you can see through to the abalone shells. I just think they turned out so pretty. So with these next trees, I'm going to put some other items in there just so that you can see what they look like. I'm using my resin, again with the crushed crystal in it, or the mica powder. You can use any kind of the white sparkly mica powders to achieve that effect, and you just put a tiny bit in or else it'll turn white. So just a tiny bit of it to give it the crushed crystal effect. So I do also have some glitter, and this is all glitter from Michael's, and I think I had picked it up on sale last year. The very top of it has only white snowflakes, so I dumped some of the white snowflakes out, and then as you get down further, it has some blue glitter in it mixed with the white snowflakes. And then there's the pearls that I'm mixing in, and you can see the Clear Elmer's glue sitting to the top there. And if you put a couple drops of the Clear Elmer's glue, all the mixings that you put in will not sink to the bottom. It'll help it suspend it in the resin. But the only problem with that is when you put glue in, well, anything that you put in resin and put it in the bubble removal machine will make it really create a ton of bubbles, but the glue really makes it bubble up. So you have to watch your bubble removal machine very closely that it doesn't bubble over. Some of this same powder that they call the crushed crystal, you can use the snowflake eye candy also, into the resin, and it makes it very white, kind of snow-like and sparkly, and I'm filling these two bases with it. And these are, I don't know if they're considered coaster molds or what they are, but we're going to be using them for bases on some of the Christmas trees. And so I just filled those both up and let those cure. And with that same mica powder, I also poured a couple of these snowman molds. I did the one with mica powder and a couple of clear ones also. And these are super pretty. This is one of those into resin molds. In the other tree, I did just some glitter, specialty glitter from Michael's. I do use Clear Elmer's glue to help suspend the glitter or the fixings, whatever you put in, so that it doesn't all sink to the bottom. And I pretty much do these two trees the same way, filling them halfway full, putting them in the bubble removal machine, filling them a little more, putting the bubble removal machine on again. And I'm just doing this with this mold because it has all those points, and I'm afraid it's going to get a bunch of bubbles stuck in there. And here I am demolding them both. This is the one with the blue and silver glitter, and this has the pearls and specialty glitter from Michael's. Both need to be sprayed with the gloss spray paint. These next three trees, I use the crushed crystal in one. The next one, I use the crushed crystal in the Dr. Martin Bombay India Ink Grass Green. And the third one, I use the crushed crystal and the Dr. Bombay India Ink Magenta. doing the 3 of them this way so that they are translucent and light will shine through them. The green and the pink one I only filled part way because I'm going to put a tea light in it covered with beeswax so that it doesn't stick, to create an opening at the bottom to put a light in. And this looks like a mess, I know, but it really works. You can also use a silicone plug if you can find one small enough. I just didn't happen to have one. The green one was wide enough so it was able to stick to the bottom. The pink one gave me a problem because the opening was not wide enough, so it sat crooked and then started floating to the top, and it was just a big mess. So the green one worked, the pink one didn't. I needed something smaller for the pink one. So then I mix up some more resin. I pour, because that is stuck down to the resin, this resin will not seep underneath the little light mold or whatever I have in there. And so I just pour the resin around it, the green, and I try to do the same for the pink. But that light is just too large for the narrow tree. It just doesn't fit in there right, and it starts to float up, and I end up putting a coaster on top to push it down. It's just not working. I needed something a little bit smaller, a light that was a little bit smaller. You can see the plugs pull right out of the pink one and the green one, leaving a mess behind, but that's okay. And like I said, you can use it with your own silicone plug if you can make one or find one, but I just wanted to show you how to do it if you do not have one. So with this coaster mold, I take the tea light again, put the beeswax around it, stick it down to the coaster mold, and pour clear resin around it and let that set up. So for the ice skating rink, I found these little skaters on at Dollar Tree, and they were kind of standing on snow, but they had ice skates on, so I decided to cut the snow off of the bottom. Just be careful with the razor, but they do come off pretty easy. And just work around it, and the snow comes off, and then they have little ice skates on their feet. They're super cute. $1.50 up at the Dollar Tree. They have a bunch of tiny Christmas village items up there. They're selling out, though. So a couple of things that I did that I didn't show was this 8-inch round mold. I actually filled with resin, colored with blue mica powder, about 4 ounces, let that set up. Then to the left of that, you saw the coaster mold with the tea light that I have stuck in the resin. And then above that, right next to the Christmas tree, is also a familiar mold to you, the one that has the frame around the outside. And I'm going to be using this to set up 3 different winter scenes. So right now I just set the Christmas tree on there and the 3 little ice skaters on there, and I'm going to use UV resin to attach the 3 ice skaters. Next, I pull the little tea light out of there, clean up the inside, and put a little tea light inside of it with the light on and the Christmas tree on top of it to show you how it fits in there. And then I put the little guy on the park bench and the 2 light posts next to it, which I am going to resin down in a minute. And then back to the ice skating rink, I've mixed up some epoxy resin, a small amount. I do not want their feet under the resin, but just enough so that I can put some glass and stick the Christmas tree to it and it will adhere. And then I take some Ashland decorative filler. This is their crushed gold glass. It's similar to Fireglass, but a little bit smaller than their 1/4-inch Fireglass. And it does have a gold reflective side. And I just sprinkle that all around the perimeter, and then I take some faux snow that I've picked up at the Dollar Tree and kind of sprinkle that on top of that. Remember when you used to have to shovel the snow off the ice skating rink? If you made an ice skating rink in your yard and the snow would be all the way around the perimeter, that's what I was trying to make it look like. Next, for the lighted Christmas tree scene, took the characters off, spread a little bit of epoxy resin on the front of that coaster, and then stuck the park bench and the 2 light posts down and just let it cure up, but just a small amount. And I didn't want to put the tree back on it until the resin on the front was cured because I didn't want the tree stuck to it permanently. Next white mold that I had poured, and I told you this was the one that has the frame around it. A lot of you are familiar with it. I did a video on it with the reindeer on it. And All I did was with this was again took epoxy resin and poured it over the top, not a ton of it, but enough so that I could spread it out over the entire surface. The tree, the three characters, and the little snowman on it, and then I take it off camera. I am so sorry. I was filming this. I didn't realize you couldn't see it. And then I took that same glass, that Ashland decorative filler that I put around the perimeter of the ice skating rink, and sprinkled it all over the top of this along with some snow. And in 1 minute, you'll see all of it up close. Hey everyone. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of experimenting, and the thing that happened was I did them with the abalone shells, and I think they turned out super pretty with the multicolor and the green, and using a couple of these different molds. And the problem with it, as you saw, was that they were matte, so I just sprayed them, which was really cool. But then I was kind of bummed out because I put them on the light, and the light doesn't go through it. Well, the light doesn't even turn on now. What the heck happened? Oh, there it goes. The light doesn't even go through it. So the light's on, but it doesn't go through it. So that's what made me think, oh, well, let me try to do some translucent ones. And so this that I put the plug in the bottom, so being translucent, you can see through it. I think that's super pretty like that. And then I did the one with the with just the clear with the crystal in it, the crushed crystal, and I put a colored light on it, and look at how pretty that is. That changes colors. And then, so I did the other two translucent ones and put the light under this. This turned out super cute. And let me turn the light on. I have the tea light. And all you do, these are little tea lights you can get on Amazon, is you just twist it. This one happens to be green. It doesn't really matter with that. But, and then you just set it down on it. Otherwise it wouldn't be able to balance. I think that looks super cute. And then the problem I had with this was it was too small of an opening for the big tea light that I put in. And so when you put this on here, can you see how that's, let me see if you can even see it like that. See how it's translucent? It was so close to the edges that I just needed a smaller one. And then the resin would have covered there. It just was too large of a opening that I made. So this is a really cool way to make openings in the bottom. You can use anything and just put like Vaseline or beeswax, something that the resin won't stick to. Now, the other way I've done it in the past is by using silicone plugs. And I have a whole bag of, these are actually silicone flower molds. And you could actually use I've used the back of them before as a silicone plug. So just depends on, this is about the smallest one I have, so it would not have worked in the Christmas tree, but you can use this in the back of any of your molds. Just think of those great big turtle molds that you have. You could put this in the back and then put a light under it. That would work really nice. So I wanted to show you that. And then I just think these winter scenes turned out so pretty. But first, so these are the two ones that I used. Well, three of them I used glitter in, I guess. This one, I tried to do a plug in the bottom. I didn't show you, and then when I filled it up the second time, I didn't put enough glitter with the glue in it. So the glitter, I guess, sank that way. I don't know what the heck I did wrong, but that one didn't turn out that great. And these two have glitter with the glue in it, and it suspended it. And I put I don't know if I sprayed this one or not. I may not have. This one you can see is real shiny. And then I didn't show myself doing these. These I put beads in. So I don't suggest using beads with it, because what happened was the beads clogged up the little limbs here, and the resin couldn't get to the end. And so the ends do not have resin in them. They're just real sharp points. Can you see that? A lot of them don't have resin in it. And look at the top of it. The resin didn't get to the top. It's just got the bead there because the bead plugged it up. So I wouldn't suggest using a bunch of beads in them. This one, I had a small amount of beads in it, and I used glue. So I think the glue kept it from going into those openings at the ends and kept it from clogging it up, because that worked out good. So although like those gold beads look pretty, if you look close at the top, they're clogging up the ends, and there's huge bubbles at the end. So don't use beads in them. So I think these little winter scenes turned out so cute. And those are the Dollar Tree, the little village, I think they called it Village something or other at the Dollar Tree. I wish I had my package out here. But they're called Cobblestone Corners Winter Village, and they had all sorts of little things. That's where I got the train that I put at the bottom of one of my Christmas trees. They have so many cute things. I think they sold out pretty fast. Hopefully they get them again next year. They had all sorts of things, trains and people. One of the Dollar Trees didn't have any left, and then another one that I went to had a bunch of stuff left. So I guess it just depends. But I just thought that was so cool with the ice skaters on there. And this was the one that I had kind of done off camera, and that has the glass on it, and then I sprinkled that Dollar Tree snow on top of it while the resin was still wet, and that stuck. I thought that was cute. And then this was the, we saw this one. This was the one with the guy sitting on the park bench and the two little light posts. And these little miniatures you can also get at Hobby Lobby in another section, and Michael's has some Christmas miniatures that are 50% off now. And actually, I think it was Judy Bloom on our Facebook page did one with the snowman, I think a Christmas tree and a snowman. This is that Into Resin snowman that's so pretty. And she put a light post on it, but it was from Michael's, and it was one that really lit up. So it was a real cute Christmas decoration she did a while back that turned out so pretty. And this was the white one. I didn't color it or anything yet, but that's those are super pretty. That's with the white. So this here, this mold here, and this was all done with either the eye candy snowflake or the crushed crystal. So a lot of people have been using this crushed crystal and talking about it, making the crystal effect in it, in the resin. So I thought I had to try it. And then when I opened up, I realized it was the same as all the other mica powders that are white sparkly mica powders. So if you already have a white sparkly mica powder, you don't have to buy it. This is $18.99. This is $16.99. This is 56 grams. This is 50 grams. And My Spring has one that's 50 grams for $14.99. So even less expensive. So this does contain a tiny bit more, but if you already have something like this and want to try that in your resin, you can just use a different sparkly white mica powder. It's the same thing. And they both do the same thing as far as turning if you put a bunch in it, it'll turn your resin a beautiful, like snow-like white. But I've been using this eye candy snowflake forever now. It's a real pretty mica powder. And I'm trying to think what else I was going to tell you. So some people on the Facebook group had said that the abalone shells from Hobby Lobby, the blue and the multicolored, had ran on their project. So I did this experiment. And then this is the results. This is I sprayed isopropyl alcohol on both of those. I don't see any running. This I put heat on, and I almost feel like a little bit of the pink you can see may have ran right there. Whereas I don't think the blue did at all. And then this is with no heat and no isopropyl alcohol. I don't really see any running with that. So I don't know. So all I can think of is maybe if you rinse the abalone shells first, just rinse them lightly, and any powder or anything that's left from the paint that they've colored them with will come off or be washed away, because I'll tell you why. Because I use the Dr. Martin's Bombay India ink all the time to color stuff, and it's never ran on me, except for one time I was trying to get the red. The red, it's so hard to get a red color. And the red Dr. Martin's really isn't red. It looks more like a magenta. So I kept putting more and more and more on. And then it really never turned the way I wanted it to. But then when I went to put it on my project, I just dumped everything that was on my parchment paper on. And there was, some of it hadn't attached to the glass, and there was like it had turned to powder on the parchment paper, and that powder is what ran. So if you're using a lot of a colorant and some of it turns to powder separate from the glass, it's not attached to the glass, just put it in a colander, or I guess you can rinse it because it's not going to come off with water, but whatever. That's probably what ran and was running with the Hobby Lobby glass, or the abalone shells that you got. And I think I don't know if they call these abalone shells. I think they call them crushed seashells, blue mixed seashell chips. But these are the abalone shells that I got on Amazon. It's real hard to find green, and they have a real pretty pearl effect. And this was 2 pounds, I think, $16.99. And they're more of a blue green, not a true green. And then, so you saw the running, and then so I decided to try to color them myself, and this is what happened. So this center one is the green that I purchased on Amazon. This is colored with the translucent green, Tamiya translucent green. It's kind of a blue green, just like the Amazon bought. And then this was colored with the Bombay grass green India ink. And this is kind of blotchy. So I don't know if I had put less on maybe. And this is more of a true green. So this is super pretty. I think the translucent green, and this is actually the Michael's crushed shells, abalone crushed shells, and they're much smaller than the store-bought. So it just depends on what size you want. So this is the Amazon, this is Michael's, and this is Hobby Lobby. So Hobby Lobby's size is comparable to the Amazon, whereas Michael's is much smaller crushed. So anyway, so as you saw, the Michael's is much smaller crushed shells than the large ones that I got on Amazon. But if you're wanting to color it yourself, I think your best bet, if you wanted a kind of a green, this is the translucent green from Tamiya, and it's really kind of like a blue green, but that I thought turned out real pretty. And maybe if I had used a little less of the Dr. Martin's grass green, it wouldn't have been so blotchy, but I'm really not sure. I'd have to try it again. So I'm trying to think what else to tell you. So I wanted to do this I really have been wanting to try the abalone shells in these Christmas trees. And the bummer part is that it's a matte mold. I don't know why they don't make it a shiny mold. I guess it's really supposed to be a candle mold. And in the description, I have some of these molds in case you're wanting them from Amazon. I know it's kind of late, but I think they have delivery tomorrow or something. And you can get 4 of them for $15.99 or 5 of them for $16.99. And they also sell them on the Into Resin site, but they're much more expensive there, so I don't know why you would get them there. So yeah, Amazon. So they have this one and the taller one. They have the ones that the 5-pack for $16.99. They have all different designs on them. So anyway, I'm trying to think what else I can tell you, what else I wanted to tell you. I hope you guys enjoyed the project. I just had so much fun making these at the end. I was glad I was able to use them for something. This one's my favorite. The little ice skaters with the Dollar Tree items on it, and super easy to make. And you could even make this a little bit thicker or something. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the project. I hope you learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We have the Facebook page going, amazing group over there. Come check us out, and I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching.